And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Vlogcast that comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. The Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect, because if I don't have somewhere to vent, well, that's just not a good thing for anybody. Trust me, it's not. And part of this is to follow through with the old adage, that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. I'm your main host. I'm known as Shujin Tribble, and you can find me pretty much everywhere under that name. That's Shujin. Hi. So yeah, we're gonna see how this plays out, because at the moment, the only one able to join me from the Rogues Gallery over on the left-hand coast, IO Cloud. Thank you for being able to make it tonight.
I'm trying to have some sort of normalcy in my life, which says something about this show.
You know what? I'll take it.
At least your voice sounds a lot better than it did yesterday. And I know our voices, or mine, would sound a lot better than what we did yesterday. Oh, that was horrible. That was horrible.
Yep. And anybody that's watching over on YouTube, you understand that I had switched the names over there because Discord is stupid and moves around where everybody's icon is, and I keep forgetting to double check that. It's my fault. It's okay. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it's confusing, but that's okay. I figured it out.
It's all good. So, thanks for being able to be with us. If you are tuning in special, we'd love to hear from you, because while we're recording, you can be part of the live chat over there on YouTube. So if you do chop in, cool. We'd love to be able to see you, because it'd be nice to, have people like Stephanie. So thank you. Glad you're able to be there. And yeah, there's an account. Lone Feel.
That's my account.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was wondering if you were gonna fess up to it first, to have me call you out on it.
It's something that YouTube has done, and I don't know how to switch it back so that it's my nickname or even my DJ name. It's just, if you can figure out where to put the dot and add at Gmail, then you can email me. Whoopee.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So
because it did the same to Stephanie, poor thing.
Yeah, such happens. So I know full well, Tech is going to be busy this week. He's got stuff that he's doing, because boy could use a little bit of time down, and we can't say to blame him. And as far as Brigid is concerned, well, considering that the last time we were speaking with her, she was doing, what was it? 2 nights of 12-hour shifts? Something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. The likelihood is that she's probably either working or passed out hard. In which case, either way, is what it is.
You're lucky you have me, because I'm suffering from bronchitis. Yes, I'm on antibiotics again, but if I have another coughing fit like I had earlier today, I'm going to go in and get checked, because that wasn't fun. You're not supposed to turn blue.
Generally speaking, no. Generally speaking, no, you're not. So let's not have you do that, all right?
That's what I'm trying.
I would be completely remiss if I did not go ahead and spike that softball and say, yeah, you are very trying. But then again, this is coming from me.
Yeah.
I know a little something about that.
Thank you. Yes, I am very trying, because I like pushing the button.
That's a whole other thing. Join us some night for a Friday night show on the radio, and maybe one of these nights you'll actually hear the whole why of it all. I gotta figure out where the where the macro buttons are so that I can just easily hit that. Or maybe I will learn how to, I'll actually learn how to program one of these, finally, one of these days. I've got a,
Oh,
yeah, it's a Trellis DigiKey from Adafruit.
guess what I found? Guess what I found in all of our stuff?
Well, wait a minute. I've
Okay.
had one of these, actually, I've kind of got two of these. When my son was doing something for something or other, I forget exactly what it was, ordered this kit, and they accidentally sent an extra board to go along with it, or what are two pieces, and I forget exactly what it was. We did try to, send it back to them, and they were just like, nah, whatever. Okay. So I've got a second one of these. I need to get some of the other parts that, form the shell and everything. But these are really cool. They're really cool devices. But be that as it may. Now you go ahead.
Well, I found a digital SLR camera, or it was found for me in the digging out of all the stuff. But one of the things that I was doing in all the boxes is I found a Raspberry Pi. Do you know how long I wanted a Raspberry Pi computer to play with? Do you know?
No, but I assume it's been a bit. It's been a hot minute,
ever
eh?
since I, ever since I first heard about them, I've wanted one to play with. I don't know what I'll do with it, but he had a Raspberry Pi. What other techno thingies that he has in here? I also found my father-in-law's cufflinks. I found other stuff that's really, really cool. And I brought him home yesterday, and he's now sitting on the mantle. And I've hit the urn twice.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little miffed at him.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, how about I get things going? Because depending as to how you do, we may close up shop a wee bit early, shall we? Might not be such a bad idea. We will see.
Yeah, we all need the rest.
Fair enough. So
Do your rant.
with 5 minutes on the clock, your 5-minute freestyle is going to start right now. Silence. For some, they're going to think Doctor Who, and I can understand that. You'd be wrong, but I can understand that. Silence is the punctuation between thoughts. In some cases, it is the sus7 chord waiting to draw in forward to the resolution. For others, I had to use silence this week because I got asked a question. And trying to figure out what the answer should be was more difficult. And not to say that I don't think quickly when I'm thinking about things to say, because I'm definitely not a comedian. I'm a funny guy sometimes, but I'm definitely not a comedian. There's a difference. And I think I could hold my own okay in an environment where, ad-libbing is the way to go. I don't think I'd be able to make a living at it. But I had someone ask me a question that I just did not want to answer. And more appropriately, I did not want to answer in a way that was insulting to anyone. I did not want to say nunya, as in none your business. I did not want to say anything more mean-spirited. So my options were to come up with something creative, come up with something that was less than honest and truthful, I will not do that. Or, option last, a wall. A wall of just nothing. As Khan best put it, let them eat static. So that's what I did. I waited it out. And it took a couple of moments for them to finally understand. Oh, so you just don't want to talk about it? The only answer that I could give that was simultaneously cute and somewhat insulting at the same time was, you are, as always, attentive and intelligent and perspective. Got the point across. And it's a hard thing to do sometimes. For some, when they get nervous, and I've seen it, I've been guilty of it, just ramble on. And I get that. You know, the whole fight or flight thing, it's easy to, spiral out, and then suddenly time compresses in your mind and things are stretching out far and away longer. I learned the value of silence, believe it or not, from Jack Benny. Now, it's been a long time since I talked about him. He is the one who I learned. Trust the people that you are talking to. Or, in this particular case, entertaining. He's the one, if you watch the old mannerisms of Johnny Carson, he was basically just everything that Jack Benny was. He basically stole his shtick with his approval. So there's nothing wrong with not lying. There's nothing wrong with being truthful and honest. Some will say that withholding the truth is tantamount to lying. No, it's not. My choices were to come up with something that was evasive and make it gentler on someone, or just to put up the shields and just say, no. There is nothing wrong with just looking someone in the eye and just saying, no. Keep that in mind for yourself. Now that we get that out of the way, time to go on over to the horrible scopes because the horrible scopes. So for those of you that know where your astrological sign is, cool. Those of you that don't, I don't care how you figure it out for yourself. D12s are always acceptable. We appreciate that. It's always fun. Try to figure that one out. Assuming that you don't, string them together on a long rope or something like that. Anyway, I have news, by the way, from the Mimic Wrangler regarding the Mimic. So apparently it is scheduled to be on an upcoming episode of the D&D-esque web series Critical Role. How cool is this? So for those of you who are longtime fans of the series, you will remember that one of the players has a history of bringing comically oversized containers to drink water out of. I'm not going to name names here. So the next time you see Scanlan's player drinking from a jerry can, just know that he is actually deep kissing the Mimic, which honestly kind of tracks for both of them, character-wise, I'd say. Now, as most of you would have noticed by now, it is getting stupid dark, stupid early this time of the year. So the plan this time is to help you discover that you can do stuff to offset the lack of daylight hours. And before you say anything, we know that some of you, Leo, are going to not like what's in store for you. We keep telling you, bribe the writing staff, but do you listen? Apparently not. It's your own damn fault then. Aries, everyone understands you're not a morning person. Your evening personality ain't so hot neither. Come to think of it, kind of hard-pressed to think of a midday time when it's fun to be around you. Anyway, but we've all known you a long time, so it's only logical to assume that you've got something stressful going on that we just don't know about. So this week, try something entertaining for a while. Not specifically fun, just enjoyable. Like watch a movie or watch paint dry, whatever works for you.
Cough, cough, cough. Taurus, the biggest problem you have is how your mental circadian rhythm doesn't seem to match up with your visual one. You know how you feel like it should be daylight outside, but it's already dark? Or how you should be sleeping and it's only 4 p.m.? We're going to suggest something super simple and super complicated at the same time. So this week, how about just flopping your schedule on its head? Stay awake during the evening hours and sleep when the sun's up. In the current 24-hour cycle of everything, what are you really missing out on? It's not like you won't be able to use mass transit or go out to eat to talk to your friends or go to the bank and speak to customer service. Yeah. Okay, maybe there's some drawbacks.
Just a few. Gemini, if this wasn't so comical, we would be terrified for you. Cooking is normally a fun activity for you, but this time, well, okay, look, getting a cast iron pan screaming hot before you put a slab of meat in it to cook it, oh, well and good. We respect that. Ending it via flambe is spectacular to watch. The fact that you made it burst into flame with nothing flammable in the pan is what concerns us.
I resemble that remark.
So this week, however many fire extinguishers you have in your kitchen, triple them. Replace your smoke alarms. They're obviously not working anymore. And for those of you that have got, hottest firemen in my area calendars, I mean, okay, I can respect that, but this is not the way to go ahead and try to date them. It doesn't work that way.
Cancer Moonchild, we're really hoping you take this suggestion at face value, because otherwise someone's about to get super upset with us. Go out and do some clothes shopping for yourself. Clothes. Now, before you get all huffy about this, just take a second to think about this. Winter weather is fast approaching, and you really need some expendable clothing to wear as insulation material. Whatever you get, don't have to be... I'll try that again. Whatever you get doesn't have to be good looking, just 100% functional. So this week, make sure it's made out of as much cotton as you can find. It'll breathe and wick out any moisture you build up. You'll want that. You also technically want wool for the heat retention. Cotton on the inner layers, wool further out.
Yeah, but after a certain number of layers, doesn't really much matter. Then again, after a certain negative number, it really doesn't matter either.
And if a knitter knits you a sweater, wear it.
It's not a bad idea.
Crocheter crochets you a sweater, wear it. But
Fair.
try to keep you warm.
Leo. Yeah. What do you get to do? All right, here we go. The cubicle tan that you've developed from a decade of working indoors has made your brief flashes in the sun very necessary to your health. Humans are like plants. We generate chemicals we need to live through the application of sunlight. In this case, what you're in need of is, and say it with us, everyone, you need the D.
You need the D.
Vitamin D. There's a lot of ways to get more, like pills. But we also know that you are super bad about swallowing pills. So this week, the only good option for you is milk. Lots of milk-based products. Milkshakes are good. Plus, you get to add a layer of fat for the cold weather. So that's a win-win, right? I mean, except for the whole making fun of you for needing the D, or for those of you that are lactose intolerant. Oh well.
Virgo, we respect your mythology for dealing with the dark hours. Napping like a cat more is working wonders for your temperament. Of course, there's a small problem of getting your brain to kick into gear after waking up. Boy, do I know that feeling. So this week, we're going to suggest that you set your timer for 25 minutes every time you nap out. It'll set your body to a rhythm that makes sense. Plus, by the time the full half hour is done, your brain should be back on full function again. If not, punish it with an episode of Gilligan's Island.
You know, because Gilligan's Island's
3-hour tour.
25 minutes.
3-hour tour.
Libra, the longer nighttime hours and cooler weather are making it prime time for you to do your second favorite activity, astrophotography. And with your new laptop you just bought, you can finally hook up your old digital SLR camera and capture some amazing views of the skies. I know a little something about this. So this week, you know, that's a really nice setup you've got there. Be a real shame if, say, the moon was overwhelmingly bright and washed out all those nebulae you wanted to take long exposure pictures of.
Okay, I lost where I was.
Scorpio.
Oh, there I am. Scorpio. I found myself. Scorpio. You know what? We agree with you, Scorpio. The weather is cooler, perfect for hanging out together as a group, sipping hot chocolate and coffee at the front of your car in the early evening. And what better time to have this happen than at, say, a drive-in theater? Seriously, think about this. You can start the movies at, say, dinner time and have people order their admission and food ahead of time, and everyone gets to go home fairly early on a Friday or Saturday night. So this week, you need to do the research on this. Find a marketing ploy that'll make this work. Trademark a slogan, license it, and you'll be making tens or even hundreds of dollars on this idea.
It's perfectly plausible. Sagittarius, where others see fun and camaraderie with the earlier night times, you've decided to use it for your own nefarious ends. Yes, we're making this sound like some kind of old-timey, mustache-twirling villain, because that's how we see you this time. We get that you have beef with someone and you want to cause them grief, but the system is, we admit, pretty brilliant. So this week, using a slingshot, at night, out your driver's side window, to launch water softener salt pellets on their lawn is just, well, it's evil. The worst part of it is, who could know it was happening or when? Do it when the snow's starting, because then it'll be even worse.
This reminds me of one of No Panic Button's skits from Fire Monkey Forge. Capricorn. Taking your dog out at night leads to some safety concerns. Yes, there are reflective harnesses you can get for them, but what about active lighting? If you look around, there are harnesses and leads that use active lighting to alert drivers to your presence. So this week, instead of a dog, get one of those glow-in-the-dark cats and a UV light. It'll be far more expensive, but the effect of having a freaking glow-in-the-dark cat cannot be oversold. If you get one, get two, send it to me. I could use a kitty.
Aquarius. Dude, like, the glow around the pizza we got was so, I mean, Did you see how it went from being a halo like an angel to being like Pac-Man when you took the first slice? It's this week, shrooms, brah. Yeah, that pizza is so good, man. Thank you, cousin, for me.
Where's my pizza?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, I ate it. Didn't I?
I'll shove it through the phone line. Just back up.
Okay, I don't know if I can actually do this voice that you've got for the descriptor, so I'll just read it. I'm not Dalan. I'm not the king of voices. Pisces. The very reason you exist is to revel in the night, to hide in the darkness, invisible, listening and watching everything that goes on around you. You are part of the shadows, sliding from one wall to the next, always just beyond where someone could see you. Always just mysterious enough to cause dread in the hearts of those that would commit wicked acts. You are the night. You are vengeance. So this week, you are rocking the new Batman sleeper onesie before bed, and you can't wait to be dreaming of something like driving that amazing car, right? Batmobile. Batman. Order yours this week at store.horriblescopes.com. And for this week, only get double your shipping costs as a discount. Remember, that's store.horriblescopes.com. And don't tell Santa we sent you, because the jolly old elf needs a break.
Those are horrible scopes for this week. Remember, if you got something you like, I mean, stranger things have happened. I don't remember when, but I have it on good word that strange things happen. However, if you would like a better chance of getting something that you like, or don't, for someone else, you can always bribe me by asking, because I operate heavily on matters of vanity. Or, actual money, because I could always use some extra money, which is more true than you might think sometimes. You can bribe me over at the coffee page, coffee.com/Icarus the Lunar Guard. As always, I'll have these posted at the end of the week. Tumblr, Facebook, Coffee, Discord, BlueSky, because that's kind of the way that it all works around over here, right? I'm going to go with that. It's episode 556 on the docket runner, doubling down on the flop. I know that we're about a week after the fact of this having happened, and I don't care, because the beautiful part about having waited out for this topic in particular is because we've had the opportunity to kind of see the beginnings of how this is all going to play out. The long and short of it is, after finally getting the government up and running again here in the US, and finally getting a Congress critter sworn in that was supposed to have been sworn in, I'm not quite sure how far back it should have been, easy a month, 2, give or take. Finally, they swear in the person that needs to be sworn in, and they finally have the tipping point for the let's now have a vote on releasing the Epstein Files. Would you look at that? It happened. The vote came through with only one voting against, a Republican from the Deep South who claimed it was just because he was afraid for the well-being for the people that might be named. Anyway, so after so many times of answering the question of were you part of all of that, and saying it was, how did Dalan put it most of the time? A nothing burger? Finally,
Yeah.
the beginnings have started to come out. And To say that this was a nothing burger would be a blatant lie. I can't be more specific than that, other than a blatant lie seems an appropriate term for it. So, the current residing president of these United States of America is implicated heavily as being part of the Epstein circles. And, well, I am unwilling to speak too heavily about the actuals of what has been done, simply because I do not want us to get dinged for it. I do not want there to be the transcript that'll come up and say that we were advocating for illegal activities, because I'm going to go ahead and I will say we do not advocate for any illegal activities, especially where minors are involved. However, those who are of the majority age, those who should know better by now, those who absolutely know better, but have the funds to cover their own asses, well, somehow I get the funny feeling that that's exactly what's happening right now. Because after the vote came up and said, yes, we will go ahead and we will pass legislation that says that the files will be released, it passed, as stated, and it has to go up to the president to be signed as law. I understand that some people would be looking at this and going, well, if they said he has to, shouldn't it be a matter that he has to? Well, all right, one would expect. But the way that our government system works is that the bill is passed by Congress. It then has to go to the executive branch, to the president, to be signed to become a law. And if he sits on it or vetoes it, it goes back. And then Congress votes on it again, and they have the opportunity of simply bypassing the president and voting enough people to say yes, and it goes into law de facto anyway. But the fact that the president's finally come out and said, well, you know what? Fine, go ahead. Go ahead and vote for it. Go ahead and push it through. I'll sign off on it. I, being the cynic of the group by DJ name, have ideas as to what I think is happening now that there is time, and the fact that he's completely changed his tune. So we're gonna kind of chat a little bit on this and try to prognosticate to the future of how we think this is gonna finally play out, because I have my ideas, I'm sure you've got yours, and we're kind of gonna entertain these for a little while and see later what kind of a special gift we get from Santa. So, Io, what you got to start off with?
Well, first off, I have to make sure that my mic's on because I just had a coughing fit and I didn't want to interrupt you. Secondly, I am loving what's happening in the UK with a certain prince losing powers and position.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not quite enjoying the fact that it's affecting his daughters,
Agreed.
but they seem resilient enough. I think they'll bounce back. Um, I kind of woke up and was like, "What? The files have been released? Oh, wow. Okay. It was a unanimous vote almost. Oh, wow. Mind you, I posted that to your private DJ group, and then you posted it here that in this group in Discord that I had mentioned it. It spun in on the CBC. I was literally looking at my phone and the notification came down. Because I've been in a nice fog for about the last 2-ish weeks.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah. And I still think it's about November 6th, November 7th, even though I know it's later in the month. My mind's still stuck back then right now. And that's normal, right? That's normal, right? Tell me it's normal. With what I'm going through, tell me.
It's understandable. I will not use the word normal right now because there is no normal right now.
While all that was going on at the governmental front, the federal governmental front, I had ladies come in here to help me make sure that my kitchen at least was clean enough for me to deal with and get his food out of the house. That was nice, except they took away 2 of my emergency foods, my Canadian foods, and I'm still missing stuff. So I'm going to have to go to Costco and replace my emergency foods. They left the version of my emergency food that I actually hate. Anyway. And the House of Mouse is going up again. About 9:30 every night, the House of Mouse goes. And sometimes I can hear it, sometimes I can't.
Fair enough. And by the by, Lexa, hi, to see you over there. And I don't know if you'd seen it, Io, that the both of them had also said, yeah, normal.
Normal for me to want to take some of his ashes, stick it in a smaller urn, seal the urn, just a little itty bitty urn, and play Yeet the Husband.
That's one way to do it.
Let's just say that there is an obituary that 99% of the world is waiting for. That 1% that's not waiting for probably doesn't know what's going on in the American politics at all. Some of them are waiting joyfully for it to happen, and some of them are dreading the day it's going to happen. And a lot of them are both, because the mixed emotions.
There is that.
Seeing that notification come in on my phone, my jaw dropped and I had to immediately say something in your DJ group. I just had to immediately say it, because at that point in time, I knew that Tech, I knew that Brigid, and I knew that others would be, wait, what? And they would find sources and sources and sources and sources.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things that's become interesting for me about what little brain power I can actually spare for, doing what amounts to quote unquote research on this is looking up the information about how long it's been and what the timetable is supposed to be for various pieces. The legislation that was passed was that the information is to be released in, and I'm trying to remember all my numbers over here right now, in 30 days. So theoretically, the middle of December, we would be getting, quote unquote, everything. I highly doubt that.
Happy Christmas to us. Happy Christmas to us. Happy Christmas.
The problem with that is, how long does the president have to sit on a bill that's been delivered to him and sitting on his desk, so to speak, waiting to be signed? Because it's not uncommon for him, in the least, to simply wait something out. And just, I'll get around to it whenever I feel like it. Because You think that I've got some kind of an obligation? Well, if you think that, go ahead and try to force me. Go ahead. Sue me. I dare you.
Sure, he's falling into dementia because Reuters says Trump signs bill to release Epstein Files as of November 20th at 3:15 p.m. PST. So 6:15 EST. So he signed it. He said, yes, release the files. He's
Right. Now, the fact that he went ahead and he did that now makes me have to go, well, okay, his usual MO, which is just sit on something, don't do anything with it, make someone force him to do something, or at least attempt to. That's his first go-to. And he didn't. He's an idiot, but he's shrewd as fuck. Which means to me, something else is going on. There is something else that's going to be used in place of, go ahead, try to make me.
Probably a war is going to start, or he's going to send more people, or more National Guard and more armed forces against American people, or something's going to distract the news organizations from it. Something is going to show up and go, hi, look at me, look at me, look at me. Aren't I pretty?
Jingly keys. Jingly keys.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
By the by, Stephanie's also pointed out it has been signed in private, not before the cameras for some reason. Let's also remember, that's the way it's supposed to be. This whole pomp and circumstance that he's done for ceremonial stuff that is not ceremonial stuff, except that he's just a pretentious peacock who doesn't know any better. Yeah, of course he wouldn't sign that one in public. But then again, shouldn't be signing a vast majority of the stuff that he has in public like that anyway. Except that, you know, he wanted to show off. Or I should say, still does.
He signs things, lifts it up, turns it towards camera, shows it to one set of cameras, another set of cameras, and a third set of cameras. He likes the attention of the cameras. So why didn't he do that one in public? Oh, probably because his name is all over the damn files, and I wonder if he used that auto pen.
That one I doubt. That one I doubt.
Because he might have used the auto pen, because that way he can say he didn't actually sign it, it was the auto pen. And one of his staffers signed it.
Stephanie's pointed out, again, and you got to cut this out, man, because you're stealing all my thunder over here. And rightly so, by the way. He has an army of FBI redacting since he got in. I would never argue that point, because I do believe that is half of what's going on. Not everything. I do believe that that is half of everything that's going on. Because I do believe that another portion, a good portion of it all, isn't just making sure that there are redactions. I firmly believe that what they are doing behind the scenes is going through, curating any section that they can so that they can reclassify it as whatever the loophole is that they wrote into the law. That's supposed to be, this has to be released, this has to be released, this has to be released, unless it is a detriment to national security, or whatever the wording is that they're using for it. Because that, I firmly believe, is what the big loophole is going to be. They're going to go ahead and they're going to find, well, this president, this ex-president, is not in office anymore, so I told you to go after these these Democrat presidents that are in this listing. Go after them. Cool. Great. How about you? Oh, well, you can't go after a sitting president because it's a sitting president. And that would
Bullshit.
cause detrimental problems to the order of succession and the office of the president. And to me, yeah, I agree with you that that's a complete bullshit argument. But tell me he wouldn't use that if it was to his advantage.
He would use anything he could for his advantage. Because he has.
Yeah, exactly right. That's why, like I said, that's why it scares me that he just went ahead and signed it. Just, okay, bring it over. I'll sign it right now. Go ahead, follow through with it, everybody.
Then
Something's
again,
wrong.
he has been feeling really, really mortal lately. He's been saying about how he's not going to get into heaven and other comments like that. And you kind of wonder. And there's lumps underneath his clothing that people are going and commenting about and wondering, does he have an artificial pacemaker, a heart support, and some other stuff in order to keep him upright? Seriously, weekend at Bernie's. Or rather, weekend at Donnie's. And it just keeps on going and going and going and going. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Somebody ought to pull the plug.
The problem that I've got isn't so much that he might have something medical going on, because we all know his medical side is not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. Not by a long shot. But that it might be a matter of something far and away more base. The polls have been showing that his approval is tanking. Heavy duty tanking. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been yelling and screaming, so to speak, about this whole thing with the Epstein information, and has broken ranks and is going to be, I don't want to use the word retiring, because I don't believe that she's put in enough time to qualify as retiring. She's quitting the job. But she's not she's not quitting straight away. She is waiting until early January. A couple of days, if even that, after her retirement kicks in as a Congress critter. Imagine that. I do believe that the biggest problem that's happening with this guy is that he is not necessarily feeling like he's mortal, or that he wants to get into heaven, because, well, first off, the likelihood of him being anything other than his own God, or minimally that money is his God, and I dare you to try to prove otherwise. I don't believe that he's got a shred of concern in his own body. He just knows who and how he can sycophant to, and how people are supposed to reciprocate to him, as shown by how he dealt with the new mayor-elect of New York City. He knew he couldn't push him around. He knew he couldn't bully him. So he was nice. He treated him wonderfully. He made jokes with him. But he sat in a chair the entire time. So he was trying very desperately to, I can just sit here in the chair, behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office because I'm the president and you have to stand the entire time. My dude, that does not come across as the power move that you think it does. It just makes it look like you're a tired old man who can't be bothered to stand 10 minutes for an interview.
Yeah, he's definitely a tired old man. Hmm. Very tired.
Very much so. And
Yeah, I see what Stephanie posted.
Omar
I read
Fierros.
somewhere that if
I'm sorry. I'll get to that in a second. Over the chat, Omar Fierros. I'm trying to properly understand the points that you're trying to make. Not kicking you out or nothing. However, I will go ahead and I will just say, hi, welcome to the show. Now, yeah, what Stephanie was saying, go ahead.
I read somewhere that if Taco is deemed a traitor, the whole cabinet would be booted. Maybe.
No, that's not how it works. That one, unfortunately, is a fabrication. If he is removed from office, the succession goes up. So that means the vice president moves up to being president, Speaker of the House moves up to being vice president, etc., until I guess the president is done by whoever it is that's holding the Secretary of Education position or something like that. I don't know. There's a TV show or something that's got something to do with that. That's making me think of that. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, go ahead, read that one off.
Such an attractive fabrication.
Yeah, it is.
Love you, Stephanie.
Yeah, it is an attractive idea. However, the cabinet itself would remain in place until and unless they decided themselves to step down or whomever is president at that point requests their resignation. So, yeah, it's still gonna be interesting. I should come to think of it, I wonder how many cabinet members are still acting cabinet members instead of being approved cabinet members. Shows you what I know. By the way, can I also make mention that we are still not yet an entire calendar year into this regime? This dumpster fire isn't even a year yet. And all this is going on. I mentioned about this once before, that when the Watergate scandal hit, Nixon left basically because the Republican Party at that point basically got to him and said, hey, yeah, you're bringing down the entire party, so yeah, you need to go. Just pack up and go. Just leave. You're hurting us. It's going to be really bad. So just go away. And he did. He fucked right off. It took some doing, but he did. This monster? No, he won't. He's going to have to be taken out through legal channels, arguably in handcuffs. Arguably. going to be interesting to see when the next election comes. Sorry, when the next vote comes up for impeachment. Who votes how? After having said, well, yeah, he was the worst one. Don't think it was quite up to the level of impeachment. Oh, I absolutely would have voted for impeachment. Oh, you really want me to vote for impeachment? That's what I'm waiting for.
Mm.
And Lexa, good catch. Yeah, good catch. I couldn't stand the show. I couldn't get past the premise. For anybody that's wondering what was the premise I was going off of, yeah, Battlestar Galactica, the rebooted version from this century. I forget what year it came out. It just no. I
was
did not like
watching
it.
it. I was watching it because I was going, "Oh, that's Georgia. Oh, that's me. Oh, that." It was filmed in Vancouver, BC, so you know we were having fun pointing out where all the locations were.
Which is fine. So many places in Canada get used for exactly that purpose. Because A, lot of open space by comparison. B, attractive because, the exchange rate. And C, well, I mean, it's Canada. I mean, what's not to like about filming in Canada?
The rain, the snow. Shall I continue?
Well, sure. I mean, so you have to condense your shooting schedule to, 3 or 4 weeks out of the year. I mean, it's fine. It's all good.
I'm just dying here with my cough, 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 cough,
No,
cough.
I get you. So, what's it going to be? How much is going to be your opinion? How much is going to be redacted with the functional equivalent of a black Sharpie versus how much redaction is Congress going to go ahead and say, yeah, you did this wrong and you didn't follow the rule of what we sent you, so do it right. Because I firmly believe that there's going to be an absolute killing in the printer ink, black printer ink market in very, very near future.
I saw, or not saw, I heard of a meme. I'm not sure if it was in the chat earlier, where the Epstein Files versus the redacted Epstein Files, the 3-inch binder versus the teeny tiny little duotang.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one, but I can see that one being fairly right. It hurts. It hurts and it sucks that we even have to be thinking about this. Stephanie, of course, is saying at least 50%. See, and that's the problem, right, man? That this administration, this regime, absolutely believes in its own superiority to everything the hell else, and is just going to go ahead and say, you know what, nah, yeah, we said that we're going to follow the rules, but you know what, we make the rules, so we don't necessarily have to follow the rules. I mean, what are you going to do? Sue us in court? Go ahead. Even if we lose, who's supposed to be enforcing it? Oh, that would be my wing of the government. Funny how that works. Yeah, no, we can just choose to ignore it. Again, as always, tell me where I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
Because they've done it before. They're going to keep doing it. Funny how that works, isn't it? And people wonder why New York City folks in business absolutely despise the man.
Yeah, you could say despise. That's a good word.
Trying to come up with something that would be accurate. I think despise is a accurate enough term for it. You know, without getting into vulgarities. Because fuck that guy. Jeez, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Damn it. I'm sorry. God, I can't even suggest that it was wrong either that time. Nah, whatever. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine.
What's wrong with what you said? You said fuck. Phoque. Seal that guy. That's all you said was seal that guy. I can confirm it. I speak French. You said seal the guy.
Yeah, but see, the problem is my first language is...
I'm giving you an out.
My first language is English. My first and a half language, I can't say second language, first and a half is vulgar because I am an Italian-American family person that grew up in the burbs of New York City. I don't know. I think I can get away with it. Has the song lyric go? I would not be convicted by a jury of my peers. Then again, jury of my peers might also include a good number of people from the part of Long Island that I grew up in, which is exceedingly and decidedly red these days, and I do not understand the why of that. Don't get it. What happened to you, Long Island? You were people who, like, worked for a living and, like, tried really hard and wanted good things for your families. What happened?
We got ours, so F you.
You know, it's, again, hard for me to argue on that. Sucks. All right.
What sucks even more is I have to move, and I'm looking at housing, and I can't even move back to where I want to move back to. Because no matter what I get from this house, it will not be enough to buy a new place. I would have to pay a mortgage. And the province that I would be moving back to, one of the things that they do is if you're on any sort of income assistance with them, they will put a lien on your house, and your children will never be able to have it.
Joy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And the worst part is the place that I can find the housing that is cheap enough is on the same damn island I got off.
Have you considered an ice floe up Nunavut Way?
Actually, I was considering a houseboat. There was a nice little houseboat for $70K.
That's not bad.
Except I had a stroke and my balance is messed up. And the last thing I want is a houseboat because it keeps on moving with the water.
Yeah, I can absolutely see where that would be a little bit uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. There was a semi-famous houseboat that was on Live It Up, which was an old Canadian consumer TV program. I slept in that one. It was gorgeous. I wouldn't want to live in it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, ice floes are not stable. They flip suddenly.
I know.
I can always build myself an igloo, you know, at least spend the winter in one. It's everybody update your wills. If you haven't done so already, update your wills. Make sure that they're what you want. Because your family members don't need the extra hassle.
I need to put into the show notes again a clip from Rick Mercer talking to Americans, and it's been a long time since I've had to reference that. Coming down from Canada to the United States and talking to people on the street and having them speak into the microphone, speaking to the camera, and a bunch of people that he got to say, "Congratulations, Canada, on saving your national igloo." Yeah.
Oh, I would have had fun with that. Our national igloo was in danger? Oh my goodness, was it the one in Nunavut or the one in Iqaluit? Oh, I had some Americans going once because I was talking about the American difference between or the difference between Americans and Canadians, and I was talking about, when you go across the border, the RCMP meets you at the nearest fort, which is right across the border, and then they'll take you by sled dog to the major city where you can actually meet up with the trading stuff. And I had them going until I got to caribou. They did not believe in the caribou.
Didn't believe what about caribou?
That they actually existed. This was 20 years ago, early on in the internet for me. Well, more than 20 years ago.
Caribou. You mean deer crossed with a 2-story house caribou?
I mean, truck stopper animals. Trucks hit them, they stop. Why? Because it'll take about 3 or 4 weeks for them to clean off their grill, their windshield, and get a new driver because the driver's probably had a heart attack for hitting one.
That's assuming that they survive the impact.
Mm-hmm. Caribou, you aim for their legs and hope that they go over the car and not into your lap. Caribou.
Caribou. BIGHONKANIMULE. Caribou. I was never good at spelling bees, so that's.
I stopped at honking. But what I really love is when I talk about our wonderful Air Force, the Canadian Goose, as well as our artillery, the chicken cannon. Royal Canadian Air Force chicken cannon. Elk, caribou, moose.
Yep.
And Canada's having its own issues with its own government, and things are getting interesting as well. I have not been keeping up with what's going on in Canada. Like I said, I've been in a nice little fog. I want to be in a drunk fog, but I got nobody to drink with.
I get that. I get that. Stephanie was saying, I thought that was elk. Well, yeah. See, if you take elk and you use the resize tool and keep going up a little bit, yeah, that's caribou. Caribou are formidable. Caribou cannot take a direct A10 gun hit. well, I mean, let's be honest here. Nothing really can, but um, at least they're a much bigger target for an A10 to hit. Much bigger target. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I actually have two really rare Royal Canadian Air Farce t-shirts. One that I got when I was 11, because my mother took me to a couple of their shows when I was a kid, 11 and 13. And one of the ones for the chicken cannon.
And that's the one that's in the show notes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I put the chicken cannon in the show notes. And somewhere in our private server or your private server's pictures is the chicken cannon and the air farce stuff. I pointed it at Dalan because Dalan's Canadian. See, look what I've got.
Fair enough.
So yeah, there's interesting things that are happening in Canada. I actually think that we might go into another election up there because, of course, if the budget doesn't pass or a vote of no confidence happens, shit's gonna hit the fan again.
As they do.
And unlike the United States, Canadians can have elections at any time. We get about a 2-month warning at most, maybe 3 if they're hemming and hawing about having an election and they start talking about it. But minimum is 38 days in order to give people time to get everything.
Yeah, last item that we're gonna have on this one, because I want your input on this one. Lexa has said, if a caribou lands in my lap, car or no, then I would want to pet it because big chunky friend shape. Everything is friend shape if you're brave or bunkers enough. Have at.
Okay, if a caribou or deer or moose or elk lands in your lap.
No. Caribou specifically.
If one of those creatures lands in your lap while you're driving, you're not driving anymore. You're calling 911 if you can breathe. Because you've probably just hit them, as you're hitting the brakes, and have hit something else on the road, telephone pole, guardrails, whatever, another car, because it will go right through your windshield into your lap and potentially kill you too. The damn beast might just get up and walk away.
You know, funny enough, I was just thinking, depending as to which way the animal lands in your lap, you temporarily might look like a centaur. Just saying.
Yeah. One of the times my ex and I were driving, I think it was the 97 or the 99, the back way up to Prince George. He tapped a deer and it took out one of our headlights. That was scary enough. He managed to avoid it, all except for its little butt, and tapped it, and thanks, it took out our headlight. Mind you, if we had not hit that deer, we would have been in the middle of a small landslide. Because as we went by, rocks were still tumbling down.
Oof.
And he was having fun doing the back and forth.
Alrighty then.
I love Canadian driving. American driving. Straight lines. Canadian driving. We think this is a 2-lane road.
Well, depends as to where you are also, because there's some areas out my way that are most assuredly very much like that. And my last piece on that one, Alexa, everything is friend-shaped if you're brave or bonkers enough. Do you know how absolutely adorable the blue ring octopus is? You should see how cute and adorable those things are. You could fit like 3, 4, 5 of them in the palm of your hand for a few seconds. Please don't.
Tuesday morning,
Please don't.
Tuesday morning, I opened up my door and there was a very cute animal sniffing my garbage. I wanted to go pet it, but I know better than to pet something that has a white stripe down its back. So I closed the door and stayed inside. I know exactly what it was, and I was not going to risk it.
Did it
Nope.
speak French?
Yes, actually.
There's some people who are of an age right now who are just like, I understood that reference. You're our people.
Yeah, they've actually censored him too.
And, all things considered, kind of rightly so.
It's
Do I
understandable, but
do I like it? No. Do I think it is appropriate? Yes. However, we can leave that for another day, or night, as the case may be.
I don't like how Disney has censored its catalog of movies and animations. But I do like how Warner Brothers put in a disclaimer saying we are showing these as they were originally aired or shown in theaters. Warner Brothers has guts because a lot of this stuff was not appropriate, especially not for Sunday or Saturday morning cartoons. Little Red Riding Hood takes on a whole new meaning when you actually watch the original version. Can we say stripper in a dance club?
Yeah, and I'm just thinking of I forget what it was. It Swing Shift Cinderella? I think is who it was. That was great back in the war days.
Yeah, Disney. Let's censor the
Everything.
yeah. Let's censor everything. Let's get rid of that one entire movie. Let's take that one little centaur. Get rid of her.
Change
No,
change a line in a
no.
song, which I don't know that I disagree with, but
Yeah, I
and that
like the original version of the song,
and as you were
but
saying,
at the
that
same
one,
time, I like the original version of the song, but the newer version is at least not better, but more appropriate.
it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
And removing quote unquote that one movie, yeah, yeah, that I still remember that one movie. That one movie can just stay gone.
No, it should be part of the Americana. It should be part of the history. It should be, this is what we were like. We're better than that. We've grown.
We hope.
It's one of the reasons why I have the audiobook, A People's History of the United States. There's a whole bunch of history that I didn't know about.
Fair. So I'm not going to be keeping us too much longer because I'm not feeling. So let's go ahead and do our actual prognostications right about now, and maybe we revisit this later, like in a couple of months or half a year, something like that. Once all this is kind of played out, because I don't anticipate that it's going to be fun anytime soon. The sign off on it said that it would be 30 days and everything is supposed to be released in 30 days. Again, if I'm remembering the legislation correctly, that was signed off on. I think there will be massive redactions
Hmm.
after stuff has been forced to be released because the first line of defense is going to be, my opinion, we did not disclose these sections, conveniently enough, everything that has to do with the Orange Maniac, because it would impact national security. Because that bullshit trope has been used again and again and again and again and again. So, my expectation for the timeline, they will wait until the last minute. They will release everything that would be impacting Orange Marmalade's political opponents, those from the other political aisle, or those who might be on his own side, who have been less than forthcoming with their praise for him, and keep all of his information aside because national security, which will then have to go back to legislation, which will then take another month for it to finally be, no, you have to release it. Okay, we'll release it. Give us enough time to go ahead and put it in there? Okay, and another month will have passed. Okay, here's the stuff. All kinds of redactions all over the place. No, you're supposed to release it unredacted. Oh, sorry, our bad. Give us another month in order to make that happen. But it will be each step of the way pulling goddamn teeth every step of the way and have to be sued every time and brought back to the Supreme Court, I'm certain, each time in order to force compliance, if that even happens. So my timetable, minimum 3 months, minimum, for the full everything to come out. That's not even saying that everything goes out correctly, because I still believe, even after that point, there's going to be stuff that's going to be doctored, including very specific video feeds, because they've been edited already. I truly believe it's going to be edited yet again. So like I said, minimum 3 month. What's your timetable looking like?
My hopeful timetable is within 30 working days. Unfortunately, there's at least 2, possibly 3 holidays between now and then that the government shuts down for. Or 4 holidays. Is Boxing Day a holiday here?
It
Anyway,
is not, but New Year's itself is.
yeah.
As is New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, Christmas. That's pretty, that for us, that's pretty much it.
Thanksgiving.
Well, yes, there is that.
Plus all of the weekends. You know,
And a lot of times
so
the timetable between Christmas Eve and New Year's Day inclusive is just considered one long, you're just off from work kind of thing.
Mhm. So I'm thinking at the earliest would be 2nd to 3rd week of January, where we get something. I'm hopeful that they decide to get moving now, but to get something would be January. I actually don't think that the files will be released at all. There'll be some excuse somewhere, and it's not gonna go.
So how far along do you think it will take before something that even approaches compliance would be?
An obituary first.
Oof.
Yeah, that obituary. Once that happens, then they can't do anything to him anymore.
The reason why I'm pausing and hesitant and contemplative is because who not because I feel bad about the possibility of us being dinged for it, but because the plausibility factor is just off the charts for that answer.
Because once you're gone, you're no longer responsible for what you did. Like, you are responsible, but you don't face the consequences. I'm dealing with that right now. In my own life, I'm dealing with somebody that made choices that affect me. I can't change them because they're the choices that they made, and I have to live with them.
No, I get you.
So when that obituary goes and is on all the newspapers and all the TV shows and everywhere, that's when they're going to be released.
And you know, I bet you not even then. I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to say I bet you that even then there would be pushback from the party
Mm-hmm.
because it will become the, well, it would be unseemly to speak ill of the dead. That whole bullshit. I'm sure that would end up coming up as part of it again. So I'm figuring a 3-month timetable for anything even close to compliance. You're figuring an obit.
We'll get some of those little candies. Here's a little snippet. Here's a little snippet, but we won't get anything really substantial until an obit happens.
Because you think that they're going to release parts and then parts and then parts in order to make it look like it's a good faith effort, but it's just going to take so much longer, right? Is that basically what's coming? Yeah.
Every single other name is going to be released first.
Oh, so you're of the opinion that they're going to section it up as here's all the information for this person that's involved. And then here's the next section that's all to do with this person who's involved. And then person after person in order to. Is that kind of the way that you're thinking?
Because the masses are frothing at the bit about getting the files out. At least the ones that care about it. Hand the masses a sugar cube. Hand them another sugar cube. Meanwhile, you've got the entire maple syrup reserve behind you of information. Here, have a sugar cube. Here, have a sugar cube.
We wait and
It's
see.
going to take an obit. It's going to take an obit.
I'm going to say I really hope that you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too.
Mainly because, and I think we feel pretty much like this as a collection. Whoever it is, and I saw this in heard this in a thing recently, like earlier tonight. I don't care whose name is in the collection. Whoever it is, bring them up on charges. Release the names. Release all the names. I don't care if it's. I saw this one and this one hurts, but it's still true. I don't care if one of the names on the list is Fred McFeely Rogers. Release the information. I don't care if it's my real name. Release all the information. All of it. Why? Because it's the right thing to do.
It's been the right thing to do the entire time. Oh, but Bill Clinton's on it.
Good.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know.
Cool. Release the information. Prosecute his ass. Is it my mother that's on there? Cool. Release the information. Prosecute her ass. My dead dog? Again, release the information. Prosecute my dog's corpse. Whatever.
And remember, every single name that's on the list, there is a woman that was a child that was abused by those people that are on that list. And we didn't believe them.
Or, worse yet, they were forced to be compliant, to redact, to retract, and yeah, they were disbelieved. Or they were forced to take some kind of a settlement, sign an NDA, scared into just take this pittance and take some money and just go away and don't talk about it. Otherwise, be a damn shame what might potentially happen to a family when, there's no protection for them.
If women were believed the first time they went to get help and to say, this happened to me, a whole lot of this would not have happened. There was a woman who reported Robert Picton. She was in the ER getting treated, and he showed up there to be treated by the injuries that she gave him in order to get out of there, and the police believed him, not her. They could have saved about 20 or 30 lives if they had believed her, because he had about 49 victims. They had him in their... They had him. They had him in the ER. They could have stopped him. The Epstein Files is just like that. People knew. People in power who could have stopped him knew. And not only did they let it happen, but a lot of them joined in. And that's... I'm not sure what's worse, letting it happen or joining in. That blind eye or doing the deed. I'm not sure which is worse.
That does make it an interesting philosophical issue to try to think through.
Because those women, well, they're not women. Those women came forward and they said, this happened. Yeah, okay, whatever. This happened. Yeah, okay, whatever. One of them died recently because she wasn't believed. And she wrote a book. She wrote a book about it. No, it didn't happen. She's exaggerating. The book's all a fabrication. No, the book is true. The book is true.
We'll have to see what happens with this now. I'm pretty well getting ready to wrap up. I know that you've gone through this a little bit. Was there any last item that you want to kind of drop in before I go ahead and just close this up?
I'm thinking. I can't really think of anything. I know I could rant and rave. I would like to say, yes, when my husband passed away, I was in the hospital. I knew I had a UTI or some sort of kidney tract infection. But the people that I was with were saying that you're gray, you need to be checked. I have a heart condition. I demanded to be checked. The doctor that saw me after they did the tests said, there, you're fine, you can go home. Big F you to that doctor, because 12 hours later, I was in the same room my husband was pronounced in, fighting for my own life. And a big thank you to Giselle, the nurse, that saw my numbers start to go sky high as my world was graying out. And I saw him. She came into the room and slammed the drugs in. She increased the dosage high enough to get my numbers to start to come down. The doctor that sent me away, screw you. Giselle, thank you. And also, thank you to the 2 doctors that believed me when I walked in to the hospital with a really, really bad headache and my world was again graying out. I was having a mini stroke. They got to me in time. They got to me before any major deficits. My right leg is now weaker, and my right hand is weaker, but I'll take that compared to what could have happened. Those 2 doctors, they believed me. And a lot of doctors, they take one look at women and go, da-da-da. To borrow, steal, appropriate from you, may you find the peace that I've lost and the strength to do the impossible. Pas ce soir, mon amour. J'ai encore du travail. Not today, my dear. I still have work to do.
What I'm going to close off with, however, is this. And this is something that literally just came up in my head just a few minutes ago. There has got to be a group that right now is absolutely pant-shittingly scared for their own existence. At least one. Because of the precedent that's being set right now with this. It's not exactly a legal precedent, but it's a procedural one. Trying to find out who knew what when is an important journalistic enterprise. It's also something that comes up very importantly in court. Because if you can prove a chain of events with corroboration, you can establish motives. You can establish a timetable of when an event happened, especially an illegal event. If this information is being gleaned and it has to go through the court in order to justify removing someone from a position of authority because they have information that has to do with exactly what's going on here, what do you think is going to finally happen when information is requested, when information is demanded of the Roman Catholic Church's diocese in the United States of America and its jurisdictions? Think about that a minute. Each of the individual dioceses are, as far as the Holy Roman Catholic Church is concerned, their own little fiefdom, their own little enterprise, all of them own. That they are loosely associated with the Holy See, but they're not actually part of. Believe it or not, that argument has actually held up before. But if you get correspondence, if you get enough to actually corroborate and to prove who knew what when, not just what happened to children in their care, but also establishing ownership of these dioceses, by the Holy Roman See, then the possibility of prosecuting these sons of bitches goes up, significantly up. And I, for one, I want to live long enough to watch that happen. I want to see the crucible of truth take every square meter of stolen property that they have get returned to their rightful owners, and nothing left behind but a husk. That's what I want. Because I was wronged by them? No. For the only reason that matters. Because it's the right thing to do. We'll see what happens in the future, near and far. But in the meantime, as always, it's time to call it a night. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. We hope that you found something worthwhile in both of our perspectives, all of our perspectives, and you got something to think about for the week ahead. As a reminder, before we get any further out, this upcoming week is American Thanksgiving. For any and all of you that might be listening, might be traveling, please, safe travels to you all. Please be kind to the people that are helping you. Just be careful. Just be careful out there. Over on the live chat, Lexa, Stephanie, thank you. You take care of yourselves. Let's scroll back just a little bit. Who was it? Omar. I haven't seen chiming in at this point, so it's entirely plausible that you are gone? Question mark? Don't know. But you were here, briefly. So, thank you.
He poofed.
Okay. Io, thank you, hon. You try your best to take care of yourself, and as always, just know that we're out here to help you if we can, however we can.
I'm kind of worried right now because even though I'm on double my heart medicine, I'm still having tacky events. They're short, they're quick, but with what happened with him, I'm not messing around.
No, perfectly reasonable. Good luck. And if you guys end up checking in with us, Tech, Brigid, Dalan, Joey, Joseph, thank you guys. And we are, as always, grateful and thankful that you guys are part of the circles here. And when you guys are able to be here, when you choose to be, when you can, always a seat for you. Always good to have you around when you're here. On Brigid's behalf, however, for the big fuck you for the week, you know what? I think if she was going to be giving out an FU to anybody right now, I think it would be to Justice Alito for, at this point, reinstating, at least until it's gone through a correct and full investigation and court appearance, the plans for redistricting in Texas in order to make it a more powerful Republican enclave to try to keep Democratic votes from meaning anything. So, Justice Alito, on behalf of all of us, fuck you. And we get on out of here. I'll, of course, have the show notes updated on YouTube in a little while. If you'd like to be in touch with us in the meantime, of course, a couple of ways of doing that over on social media. Yes, there is still a presence over there on Facebook, but probably the easier would be either on Discord or BlueSky. Find us easily that way. But in the meantime, as always, time to call it a night. So until the next time we're together, as always, I wish you all the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well. Fujin, I know we're not exactly having Thanksgiving here. And I know I'm not making a fried turkey again this year, but that's okay. 20 years on, I am still in love. Matane Fujin, I love you. I miss you. Dream of me. Till the next time we're together, everyone. As always, good night. And stay out of Cincinnati.